Hi, okay, so you've made it to our first mini project. This is using our webcam to create a live sketch of yourself. So let's quickly run this app and see what it does. So this is me here talking in my bedroom here. This is me waving around. And this is me here with my cell phone being charged at the moment. So you can actually see the code. It's quite cool. So this is our sketch app. It works pretty well, generally. I mean, you can play with the parameters in our app to get it better better to your taste. So let's see exactly how this is implemented. Okay, so here's the code for our live sketcher app. It's fairly basic, although we do introduce some new concepts here. And the first thing we introduce here is creating a function, an OpenCV or image processing function called sketch here. If you're unfamiliar with functions, imagine a function being basically a group of commands here that we call when we run the sketch command over here. So sketch actually does a bunch of processes here and returns an image for us. So it actually combines multiple layers of image processing and just returns the final output. So it's pretty cool. The second thing I want to introduce you to is actually using the webcam. Now, using a webcam in OpenCV is actually quite simple. What we do here, we actually have run this initializing video capture function here, and it basically creates an object called cap. Cap here can be read now, which is cap.read here, and what that does, that pulls an image from the webcam. However, if you run it out of a loop, it just pulls the image at a time and nothing else. So what you want to do is have cap.read running in a loop, and this loop runs continuously, pulling images from your webcam. It should be pulling at the frame rate of your webcam, which is usually 30 frames a second. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but generally it's either between 24 and 60. And cap.read also returns ret. Ret is basically just a boolean that defines true or false whether this was run successfully. However, the real meat of this cap.read function is frame. Frame is the actual image captured from your webcam, and frame is what we pass to our sketch function here. And lastly, this little 2 lines of code here basically tells us that the loop only breaks when we press the enter key. So cv2.wait key previously was at 0 before, took any key in. I'm just introducing now, we can actually define a wait for special commands. So in this case, when you press the enter key or return key, it breaks this loop. One other important thing to remember when using a webcam is that we need to do cap.release. Otherwise, again, what happens in OpenCV is that it hangs and actually locks up your terminal, and you have to go to kernel restart to run it again. Okay, so let's take a look at our function here we defined as sketch. This is actually doing the bulk of the work, and it's where we keep all the image processing OpenCV stuff here. And it's actually a very simple function. So let's take a look here. So what it does, we take the frame from our webcam here, pass it to sketch. We then convert it into a grayscale image, and then we apply a Gaussian blur to that image here. The Gaussian blur is basically to just smoothen and clean up any noise in the image, because webcams aren't very high quality in most cases, so they do produce a lot of noise. So once that image is blurred, we pass it to a Canny. As you remember, Canny was our edge detection algorithm, and these are the thresholds we set here. These thresholds, please feel free to edit and play with them as you see fit. They can give you different results in different lighting conditions. These are what I found optimal to my taste and my lighting conditions, but you may find something different. And once we have Canny, you remember Canny was a black background with white edges. However, I was trying to illustrate more of like a pencil and paper type thing, so which is why I used Tresh binary inverse to invert and threshold the Canny edges here. Now we could have also used some of other inverse functions here, and you may remember we could have used a bitwise not to invert. However, the reason I use this threshold function here is so that we can actually play with this parameter here. This was our threshold parameter. So it gives you some more flexibility here. And what this does here, this creates a mask, and then this function returns our mask back here. So this actual block of code here actually is a variable itself that's returned from the sketch function, which is how we can show it with the imshow function. So that's basically our live sketching app. Something very simple and something you can actually play with on your own. Feel free to add more effects as you see fit. Thanks.